we made a map, and I'm gonna send you guys the map. It's gonna show you all the contaminated properties on Gould Cemetery Road and Lamb's Pond Circle that really have not been addressed. I've not been receiving reports from ExxonMobil or Kleinfelder since 10 of 17. The DEP's allowed them, they've allowed them to do it every 6 months now.
So they're due this month.
They're due, and I called Mark Baldy and said, Mark, what is going on? And what's going on with Gould Cemetery Road? They actually didn't give it to Kleinfelder ExxonMobil, they gave it to Forensic, which is a separate company, to look at it. So
Okay.
there is someone with a POET system, and there are 3 or 4 people on bottled water.
Yeah, I know one of them. That's one
Yeah.
of the reasons why.
So that's something that Robin and I spoke today in length. We've worked on it, and she'll be on the phone with Mary Jo Pigsley, if not already, to find out, hey, what are we gonna do about this before that water line is, going along.
Yeah, go ahead.
Where is that Lamb's Pond Circle?
Right off of, just before the Mass Pike, it's a little cul-de-sac, a little circle. Is it Center Depot Road? If you come off at 20 and go straight down, you're headed towards Ronnie's.
Mm-hmm.
Just before you get to the overpass, it's a little cul-de-sac, Lamb's Pond, right by the Mass Pike.
yeah.
So that seems offbeat compared to Cemetery Road
Yeah, that's a ways
and
away, isn't it?
Gould Road.
You're right. One of them may be part of the 6 West thing that they were there, that all of a sudden they did a test. We just got a report for Lamb's Pond Circle. And then the Gould Cemetery Road, I called them and said, how come I haven't gotten any paperwork on Gould Pond? Gould Road, Cemetery Road. He said, well, I have it, I'll send it to you. I said, why didn't I get it directly? People calling me, asking me questions. I need to be informed, inform the board, inform the residents, and how can I do that if I don't have the proper paperwork? So I did speak to Robin today about it. We had Todd develop a map, and she is going to be making a couple phone calls.
That goes all the way over to that other road there. Phil Stevens owned all that, and I perked all that
Mm-hmm.
along there. And it's all gravel in there too.
Oh, yeah?
They haul gravel out of there
So
years
that-
ago.
that's
for
just
the-
like a
it's
throughway for the water,
it
right?
it goes to that other road that the well company's on. Cheltenwell,
north side?
North Side Road.
Yeah.
Goes right across. And I don't know why it's all gravel in there. And then when they put their Mass Pike in, they haul a lot of gravel out of there.
Oh, yeah.
So when I did the perks in there, he sold that.
So, to answer your question on Gould Road,
Yes.
Gould and Cemetery, I did send you guys some of the results. I think I sent them everyone, but that is not gone. That's not going to pass. I'm on top of it.
Okay, good.
Certainly, and I had a lengthy conversation with Robin today about it. So we had Todd work on a map for us, and that's going to be addressed.
Why is Todd working on it?
Todd has the ability to make a map
Ah.
and put contaminated POET system.
Oh,
So
really?
he has that ability in that system
He
in
has
his
the
office, and he can
software,
print
okay.
that.
All right.
I don't have, the only
Makes
reason
sense.
Todd did it because he has the software.
Yeah, sure. Oh,
And,
makes sense.
and that's why he did it. So normally we would have the map sent out and they would do it for us.
Okay.
We pay a company to do the mapping for us through the whole town.
If I can move along, grass cutting, is that going out for bid or?
I meet with FinCom tomorrow.
Okay.
Right now, we can't go out to bid because we don't have any money.
Okay, that's fine. And I think we had talked before as a board and said something like fall, maybe September,
Yeah,
October.
one mowing, I believe that's
One mowing,
important.
right.
But I did put together a budget, and I spoke to the finance director today and Robin about the budget, and I will be going before FinCom tomorrow night to speak on that subject.
Okay, so we're not missing the boat. I just want to make sure.
No, just to go out to bid, we'd have to have the money, and it wouldn't be
Right.
appropriate to go out to bid with.
Now, when they have the
230.
meeting, we're gonna go up to see if we can get some more money for that.
They're gonna have no choice.
I mean, are we gonna go up and say, hey,
No, I'm going up before FinCom. I presented the budget for the health department, and the bill is not much change, but we ran out of money in our landfill account, that they used to put $12,000 a year through capital, and that stopped, but we had like $70,000, but that didn't last very long. And now
at
when
the
you're
town
paying
meeting,
five,
you can't go up there and,
well, FinCom can approve, and I think Robin's gonna put together almost a capital item for that, which will replenish our funds, so we can do remember the DEP mandates that we do these things, you can't miss the deadlines. So Gary sent the bill today, and Robin did pay it. So Gary has been. There's no lapse in the work. The bills are being paid, but we certainly need more money. So it's my responsibility to go and say, hey, our two landfills are out of the money on behalf of the board. That, you know, this is. I did get the estimates of continued service, and it's. We need to just get through fiscal 2018. So
He gave us an estimate of 35,000 a year, was it?
that was only for one. That was for 90 or not.
Okay. Just trying to.
It's going to be more than
remember
that, 58. Remember, we got to pay for mowings,
Yes.
and if there's, we still have 3 homes that we're testing, and we still have to test all the wells. So that alone is $10,000 a whack. So you got quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4, and we still have to maintain that filtration system, provide testing for that. There've been 3 consecutive non-detects at those properties, but it's still, there is detection in one of the wells that has 1,4 and some VOCs.
Monitoring well.
That monitoring wells
Yes.
in the landfill itself, but nothing within 500 feet.
Did, through the chair, did you see the email we got yesterday about the correspondence between CMG and DEP?
Yeah, DP very well may require the town
Yeah, we got some issues coming right up.
to not only continue monitoring, but to cap the old
The old
landfill.
landfill.
And that's
All old
something,
landfill.
and I've been encouraged by the town administrator to make sure I bring that up, that although it has not come before us yet, I expect that the DEP may require Charlton to move forward to cap that landfill closest to the old one that's been dormant for quite a while.
How many
But,
acres?
well, the whole landfill itself is 10.
9 at 10, yeah.
Yeah.
So it costs what,
Remember,
$1
this
million
portion-
for the 17-acre one, right? Roughly $1 million to put the cap, the rubber membrane.
This is a lot smaller than that portion of it, but it was what, $380,000 for the liner, I believe.
We already got the monitor wells in there too.
Yeah.
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 It was thrown out there for the board to be thinking outside the box as far as capping the landfill and maybe not using a membrane, plastic membrane.
How do you use, what else could you use?
I don't know, but it was
Clay?
thrown out there. Well, I just don't know.
I don't know either.
But it
They've
was
come up with new technology.
time to
and
start
stuff,
thinking outside the box for that project.
Okay.
But if any board member wishes, we'll be at FinCom at 6:45 in the selectman's office tomorrow evening to bring the budget forward. But that the landfill account is a big issue. It's not. We have to do it.
Mandatory.
It's mandatory.
Mandatory expense.
That AECom survey that came out that required the minimum to do, and that's what we're abiding by. So.
Yeah. Good. Through the chair.
Yes.
So my comment about the email that we got yesterday wasn't so much on the capping of the old landfill, but it was the distance from the well that's hot with the 1,4-dioxane.
Mhm.
3 residents, DEP was confirming that they are not water sources. And the response is, they are water sources. So that's my crystal ball is wondering what DEP's next step is.
If the DEP came back and said, you've got an issue here, would they give us some sort of lead time, so to speak, to get in, engineer and cap the well so that,
Well-
I mean, in June, they can't, theoretically here, they can't come and say, hey, you've got 6 months
No.
before the ground freezes.
They would certainly require that we act accordingly, and they give you a time frame.
Right.
But certainly, as you know, through the Southbridge contamination 1,4-dioxane, you can't adequately, although it works, it really can't be filtered unless they develop different technology. So it's not like MTBE where you can put a filtration system and feel pretty sound that it's being filtered. We've had no detections for the last 3 tests for those houses, so they're non-detect, which is a good thing.
But the testing is gonna, even if this continues, even if they got no hits for quarter, was it quarterly?
Quarterly, yep.
Yeah, even if they got no hits, how long would we have to test for?
Until you get no hits on anything.
For what, 10 years, 5 years, 3
Could be,
years?
could be 50 years.
Ultimately, it's going to be the discretion past DEP.
Okay.
But it basically the way those guys, my understanding of how it works, and it's very limited understanding, but we hire an LSP, licensed site
Yeah.
professional. So the licensed site professional is the one that charters the course on what happens. Based on his professional experience, this is what they recommend. DEP reviews the LSP and either adds to it or agrees to it. So if in like the last couple of things, the LSP says, no action needs to be taken, everything looks good, we've been dry 3 quarters in a row.
Yep.
But DEP is reviewing that, and if they disagree or would like to add to it, then they step in and make their comments. And that's where we're at right now. They're talking about a distance on those 3 houses. But DEP was confirming that they're not water suppliers. And it was, yes, they are water suppliers. Right behind it was on filtration systems and or bottled water. But something got stirred up right there.
Yeah.
And so there's the 2 sides with the 1,4-dioxane. You have the solid waste side that says, yeah, it's normal to have 1,4-dioxane in a landfill. But then there's the other side where it's like there's a contamination going on and the residents are affected, and that's where that 500-foot kicks in and kicks in and kicks in.
Okay.
And so it was through solid waste, I think, was having their concerns on yesterday's email. So from what I can see, I think we're going to have a couple more emails getting to the bottom of that.
When we tested the old dump, we didn't get no results that they're getting in the wells.
Correct.
So the dump has got nothing to do with it.
Well, what it is, from my understanding, Willie, and you're correct, Mr. Chairman, if I may, was correct. What the contamination that was found at those houses was not a contaminant in the well. However, in the monitoring wells of the old landfill, 54 Flint Road. However, because the landfill was there and at a certain time that did come up years and years ago,
Yeah.
that landfill is the most likely source of that contamination.
But it could be the septic too.
It could be a number of things, but they're going to hold that landfill as the potentially responsible party until it's disproven, and they can say, no, this is where it came from.
But the one of the wells
Because it was
right
trichloropylene,
there,
I believe.
59, I think, is right here. And that proves that there's nothing, no water, no dioxide in that monitor well.
Yeah, because one of the contaminations that, Jim, you're talking about, comes in detergents and stuff like that. So up the street on Old Town Road, or Town Road, there was the highway barn, washing trucks. We tested that, and it came up clean.
Yeah.
So it ruled out at that point that it was coming from there and went back to the landfill.
Because they brought everything from the dump up there when Barnes was on. All the refrigerators and all that, they cut everything, and I remember it was like a junkyard.
And its day lots happened up there.
Yeah.
I think we
That's-
will ask for the minimum required, and but that's only going to get us through till December 31st. If there is a hit and it extends out another 500 feet, it won't cover it.
I think we're on the verge of getting it extended, and that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I know.
And are they aware of it? Robin's
Robin's aware of it, yeah.
Robin's aware of it, okay.
She gets any updates I get. She gets the same updates.
Okay.
Gary also does some monitoring for the town. The MCP worked for her also. But certainly, she was on it today. We discussed Gould Cemetery Road and Lamb's Pond Circle. She was on it. She's going to be speaking before that line goes through. We need to make sure that any areas that are contaminated that are protected. So she realized that, she's on it. So I'll keep you informed of any changes, and I will after the meeting tomorrow night. I'll certainly on Thursday give the board members a call, and I'm sure it's going to be approved. They have no choice, but as far as that, there's nothing drastic, and the budget is the same,
Okay.
But that is a big key issue because we're out of money.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Does anybody else have anything? Jim, you're done?
I'm all set.
Matt,
Make a
nothing?
motion adjourn?
I'll second. You want a second?
Second that motion?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Willie? Last one?
And now it's time for cake.
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 7:17.
Okay, right on time, Drew.
See that? I can be in two places.